Well, hey, everybody, this is James Gailliard. Welcome to the James Gailliard Show right here on Soul 92.1 FM, the People Station. And as you know, I promise to bring you thought leaders, movers, shakers, influencers, and pre-recorded interviews when I can't personally be with you. In the studio today is actually a friend, someone I've known for quite a while now, being in the General Assembly, our Attorney General, and I believe will be our next governor of the state of North Carolina, Josh Stein. Josh, welcome.
Good to be with you, the representative, the pastor, and my friend James.
Appreciate that. So tell us a little bit about why this election matters from the lens of Josh Stein.
Growing, and is it working for more people so folks have a chance to get ahead? But there's also some really critical questions of like, what kind of state are we? Who are we as a people? And I think the choice at that level is our vision in our campaign. It's about people. It's about being welcoming. It's about being forward-looking and positive and optimistic. It is about fighting for people, making sure that we're giving opportunity for folks, and then we're tapping everyone's potential so that together we build something that's really good, very positive. And then you contrast that with the vision of my opponent in this race, Lieutenant Governor. It's one of division, it's violence, it's hate. Says awful, awful things about people. He called public school teachers wicked. Yeah. He says women are not called to lead. Just so disrespectful to women, disrespectful to so many people. And that's not who we are as a state. And we've got to reject that kind of negativity because it's about hope, not hate. It's about chaos, competence, not chaos.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. You know, I sometimes I'll look at these various polling that would suggest that sometimes we have certain candidates that have traction with black men. You know, I probably pastor more black men than maybe almost certainly anybody else in Eastern North Carolina, and more than most people in the state of North Carolina. I just don't see that. Yeah. You know, I see exactly the opposite. You know, I see men that care about their community, that want to see the community move forward, and that want to do what's needed. Is there a demographic that you have a concern about when you think, whether it be geographic or whether it be gender? Is there a group where you and your campaign are like, I want to make sure we really get across the finish line with that group?
Well, the issues that I'm focused on are an economy that's working for all people, strong public schools, safe neighborhoods. Those issues are issues that everybody cares about. Republicans care about those issues. Democrats care about those issues. Unaffiliated people care about those issues. Black people care about those issues. White people care about those issues. Latino people care. These are not red or blue issues. They are North Carolina issues. So what this campaign is about is traveling the state and trying to earn the vote of every person. And I don't care what your demographic group is. We want you to be part of this campaign so that we can work together to build a state where more people have a better chance. Yeah,
that's really good. So let's talk the whole ballot.
Yeah.
Because we would hate to see you elected as governor and then they have a supermajority or you don't have veto power.
Yep.
So talk to us about the down ballot and the rest of the ballot.
Yeah, this is an exciting race. I mean, obviously, you go to the very top and you have the Vice President, Kamala Harris, leading the ticket, and we're all excited about what she's bringing, the energy, the positive future she wants to bring to the country. The governor's race, obviously critical. If we don't win the governorship, the legislature can do whatever the heck it wants, and there'll be nobody pushing back. There'll be no counterbalance. But you hit this point, nail right on the head. The governor without a veto is not as good as a governor with a veto. Roy Cooper will tell you that because he's had 4 years with a veto and 4 years without, and he said the 4 years with it was a lot better for North Carolina. So we've got to break the supermajority. We are only one seat down in the House and one seat down in the Senate. That's all we are.
Yeah.
So we just got to win some seats. There's a great candidate in Wilson, Dante Pittman running. That's one of our targeted races. So if we can defend the governorship, if we can break the supermajority and then put good people like Allison Riggs onto the North Carolina Supreme Court, and we have an incredible slate of candidates running for the Council of State, from Mo Green, Superintendent of Public Instruction, Jeff Jackson, Attorney General, Rachel Hunt, Governor Hunt's daughter, Lieutenant Governor, Jessica Holmes, Auditor. They're just so, Elaine Marshall, she was here praying with you today. Just so many great candidates, and we have the chance to really put North Carolina a completely different and positive trajectory.
Yep. I'm focusing heavily, Josh, on Eastern North Carolina and the Sandhills. That's where I've personally committed my energy from a faith lens because, we can help the 1st Congressional District with a good turnout. Mm-hmm. We pick up seats in the General Assembly. There's several winnable seats there. Talk a little bit about how you feel about Eastern North Carolina and Sand Hills as it relates to your race and the down ballot.
Well, James, I really appreciate what you're doing here, because there was one race I forgot to mention, and that's the congressional race that Don Davis is in. It's the only competitive, because of this crazy Republican gerrymander, partisan gerrymander they've done to the map, they've guaranteed themselves at a minimum 10 seats. The Democrats have 3 seats. When we're in a 50-50 state, there's only 1 seat in Congress that's competitive, and that's Don Davis. We've got to keep Don in the House, U.S. House. And so getting folks within his congressional district to realize the urgency of electing not only Don, but breaking the supermajority, putting good people, council state, Supreme Court, my race, and of course, the president. I couldn't be more grateful for your efforts.
Yeah, well, I appreciate that. And we've been trying to highlight, and you mentioned Allison, but we've really been trying to highlight our judicial races. Carolyn Thompson, we have people running, appeals courts. And
Ed and Carolyn.
Exactly. I think people oftentimes don't realize how important the courts are. Can you just say a word about it?
Yeah, I mean, we're seeing the consequences of having lost the Supreme Court in 2022. Partisan gerrymandering, which I think is one of the causes of the cancer on American democracy, drives people into these corners, and it makes it so that folks only concerned about if you're a Republican, the right, and if you're a Democrat, the left. And that's not where good things come. Good things come when we work together in the middle and compromise. So partisan gerrymandering was determined by the North Carolina Supreme Court to be unconstitutional under our state constitution. The Republicans won in 2022. 5 months later, they threw that decision out. So we see it in our democracy, and so we're stuck with this right-wing supermajority General Assembly that does not represent the views of the majority of the state. They represent the views of the majority of the Republican primary party, but not all of the state. And so it really matters who's on the court. The court determines, do we have adequate school funding? Do we have a democracy that's healthy? Do women have the right to make their own healthcare decisions? It matters who's on the bench.
Yeah. Let me shift gears. This will be the final question. For those of you just tuning in, it's James Gailliard, Soul 92.1 FM. I have our Attorney General, and I believe the next Governor of the State of North Carolina, Josh Stein, in studio today. Grateful that he gave us a little bit of time. So this is personal because I like to always... I want people to see the human side of people, right? They see the public side, pastor, state legislator, attorney general. What would the Josh Stein today, what advice would you give the 25-year-old Josh Stein who just came out of law school, just starting your life, just creating a family? Now that you look back over your life, your career, stellar career, state senate, attorney general for many years, soon to be governor. What advice would you give that 25-year-old Josh or the 25-year-old person just coming out of college?
Well, I actually think I did something that was good when I was a young parent. Even though I was in the Senate and I was working at the Attorney General's office, is I always tried to make it to the kids' sports games, try to go to their lacrosse games, go to their soccer games. I tried to go to their football games, try to make it home to dinner as many nights as I possibly could. I guess what I would tell myself is to be more focused on that, because there is always another meeting you can go to. There's always another group you can talk to, but your kids are your kids, and your wife is your wife, and you got to pour into them and nourish those relationships, because those are the rocks that you rest on.
Yeah, that is such a great word. Family is so important. They grow up really fast.
Yep.
And we are just become empty nesters, so I know all about it.
I got it. My youngest is 20 now. It's like, I say, don't forget me. Call me on the phone.
Yeah, exactly. Final word to the voters of North Carolina.
Let's win. There's so much good possibility for what we can do. But I was in church on a Sunday, and somebody said it was going to take all of us. And somebody said we got to hold, each of us, the corner that we're responsible for carrying. And if we all do what we know we can and should do, I think we'll win, and I think good things will come for the people of North Carolina.
Yep, amen to that. Hold your corner, y'all. Do your part. Let's get this vote out. Every vote matters. Vote early. I'll close with saying to everyone while I'm here with the Attorney General, go to ncvoterlookup.com, type in your name, your county, your date of birth. Make sure your voter registration is active. Go into your pocket, your wallet, your pocketbook. Pull out your identification. Make sure the address on that identification matches what's on your registration. And then the first opportunity you get to vote early, take it so that come Election Day, we'd have already won this. We'll be right back. We're going to take a quick break, pay some commercials.